Hello again YouTube. Today I have been mostly fitting a roof rack. The roof rack I've gone for is this Vanguard 3-bar jobby. I've added on the optional ladder roller to go on the back, and I chose Vanguard because they're UK made, they're reasonably priced, and I also got like some free ladder support, load support brackets that go with this one. So here is the process of me fitting it to the Transit Connect. Right, so I've gone for the 3-bar model, and you get 3 boxes included with this. That one's a box of covers. That'll be one of the last things you fit. This box here, that's all your fittings. And this particular model came with some of the load stops that go on top. So it's a 3-bar model, and I've also bought the optional roller rack to go on the back for your ladders. Okie dokie, so 6 brackets, 2 aside for 3 bars, and all of your associated fittings there. Now, each of these brackets is numbered, and the numbers correspond with their fitting position. And the ones at the back here are fairly straightforward. All you got to do is punch these plastic caps out, and that you just got to accept they're going to break, basically. So the first 2 I've done have snapped off, and I saw somebody else doing this in a YouTube video and they snapped off. So just accept they're going to break. Take them out with a trim tool like that, just wedge it underneath. Let me show you. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to make sure I know which ones I'm taking out. So I've taken out the 2 at the back, and we want the 2 in the middle of the sliding door, and then the 2 at the front. Right, so let's have a look at that one in the middle. Right, so the clips are on the sides. Squeeze them in, push up, and out it comes. Right, so don't know if you saw that. So basically there's 1 or 2 ways you can get these out. You can just pry underneath it from the top with a trim tool, and it will break. Alternatively, you can do what I did there, and on the side of them they've got 2 little clips. Just get a pair of needle nose on there, squeeze them together, and you should be able to push it out. Let me position you on the roof and see if I can get you a good view of me taking the other ones out. The ones at the front here are going to be just a little bit more interesting. So these are right above the cab, and they are obscured within here. So basically you've got to get behind this headlining to pull them out, and then they're hidden up in there. He's got it. Right, how's that? Blimey, crikey. Well happy with that. This one is just a little bit more awkward. Yeah, I think there's only one way I'm getting that out. Right, so it broke, so I'm just using the hammer side of an inappropriate tool there to get that out. So here's what you're left with. Now, I did actually think at the front here about putting a riv nut in rather than the fixings that come with the kit, but I think I'll go with the fixings that come with the kit, because if I put a riv nut in there and I'm doing 70 down a local A road and the whole bloody thing flies off, then if I use their fittings, I can blame them. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is make sure all of the fittings are here as listed, and just lay them out in the back of the van here. What they do is they give you fitting positions for each of the brackets, and like I said, the brackets are numbered. So what I'm going to do is they tell you which fittings go onto each bracket. So I'm going to begin driver side front. I want 779 and AS 149. That nice and clean around there. Now again, I've seen people fitting roof racks online where they fill this up with cork and Christ knows what. I'm pretty sure if you're using the supplied kit and fittings, that should be all you need really. You've got the rubber gasket that glues to the bottom of the bracket, rubber washer, penny washer, lock washer, and then that goes in there. Now I've just got to get this located inside the van and tighten the whole lot up. That's going to go on there like that. Right, they're the two difficult ones fitted. I will now put you on a time lapse whilst I fit the others. So, with all of your brackets finally in place and the odd washer lost inside the headlining, we won't talk about that, just time to put these brackets on. So these, you basically just lay your bar on top of your bracket on the roof there, your little clamp bracket goes over the top, coach bolt goes in from underneath, and then the lock nut goes on from the top. Now, in the fullness of time, these will be tightened to 11 Newton meters. But what I want to do before I do that is get a tape measure and just make sure I've got all of the bars nice and even before I tighten anything down. Oops, a bit too much. 87.5. That is good enough for me. Tighten these diagonally, which will hopefully give it a fighting chance of staying where it is. Yep. Yep, lovely. Right. Good job. Right. Let's put you on a time lapse whilst I do the rest of them. So with the all the brackets in place and everything torqued up, one of the last jobs is going to be to fit these covers. Now I think these are all the same. Yeah, they're all the same, right. And how do these fit? Right, so there you go. Right, okay, so they clip over the front and then you give them a right old smack at the back and they'll go on. So you get it right over at the front there and make sure it goes underneath and then like that. Good old tap. Gone over at the front and then like that. Lovely job. Right, so I've gone for the additional ladder roller to go on the back. So that's this thing here. Let's get it all unpacked. And hopefully there is a book of words. There you go, there it is. Yep, bolt comes through from the outside, just double checking myself. And then weird little doohickey goes on the inside. Tighten that up. Make sure you get the shoulder down into the hole. Tighten that up. Let's get a 13mm. There you go. Hoping you're in shot. There you go. Right. Now we are cooking on gas. So, right. So with those all set up, then you can take them. Bolts to the outside, pointy end on there. Snap it down. Bolts to the outside. Right, so now with that on, you can take your roller bar and fit it in. Just pushes in at each end like that. What do we got? We got 32. We got 40. We got 32. Right. Okay. So, right. So now you've got a support that you can fit underneath like that. Right, so you can see that that little ball articulates in there. So if I screw this up, you can just get that touching nicely. And what are we saying? Are those 13s? You'd think so, wouldn't you? So let's tighten that up. There you go. So, last job is to put the coach bolt through on each side and tighten it up. There you go, through there. And then we can tighten these up. And that should lock it on. Lovely. Torque these up to 10 Newton meters. So there you go. Roof rack is on the van, and doesn't it look nice? I got to say, I am very happy with this. All in with the roller at the back. I'm just trying to think what this came to. I think it was a couple of £100, and that's really not bad. And for me, you know, just the quality of it, the brackets are all really heavy, the fitting kit is all really good. Even little touches like the ladder roller at the back with supports, adjustable supports that come down onto the roof to, you know, sort of bear weight as you're pushing a ladder up onto it. It just all feels like quality. And I think that matters if you're going to be strapping stuff to it on the roof of a moving vehicle. I think that matters, just having a little bit of confidence that this thing is going to stay attached to the roof. If I break suddenly, you know, obviously if I haven't strapped anything down properly, that could go south pretty quickly, but at least the roof rack should stay where it is. So anyway, roof rack's on, Transit continues to evolve, and thank you very much for watching this one. Like and subscribe, all that nonsense, and I'll see you in the next one.